Greetings. I greeted the new day by exiting the bedroom and cautiously making my way toward the front door. Progressing slowly, I strained to catch any sounds. A woman's voice intermittently echoed a simple hello about every 10 seconds. Approaching the front door, I discerned the origin. Although my grandma's door lacked a peephole, the dining room windows afforded a clear view of the front porch. Intrigued, I approached the window to identify the woman. Attempting to discreetly peek through the plastic blinds, I mistakenly caught her attention. With an unsettling smile, she continued her repetitive greeting. This woman, seemingly in her late 50s or early 60s, gave off an eerie vibe. Disturbed, I retreated from the window, pondering the oddity of the situation. Was she a friend of my grandma's? It was midnight. Why was someone at the door without knocking or ringing the bell? Perplexed and unnerved, I returned to the guest bedroom, shutting the door to escape the persistent hellos. With the door closed, the eerie voice ceased. Relieved, I began texting my sister and friends about the bizarre encounter, seeking an explanation. As time passed in silence, I started to regain composure. Despite my sister's suggestion to call Grandma, it seemed unlikely she was awake. Suddenly, the silence shattered with a loud banging at the window. Not a polite knock, but an instant and jarring sound. My chest tightened as my body instinctively entered fight or flight mode. After the banging ceased, the familiar voice returned, uttering a hello, reigniting the rush of adrenaline. Feeling unusually bold, I raised the blinds, revealing a disturbing older woman just inches away, separated by only thin layer of glass. Startled, I screamed at her unsettling, smiling face, threatening to call the cops. Quickly lowering the blind, I fled to the living room and surveyed the house before seeking refuge in the upstairs guest bedroom. Strangely, I chose not to call the police, opting to wait it out. Nestled under the covers, I stayed awake for hours. Finally, I ventured downstairs to check each window, finding the creepy old lady gone. The next morning, I recounted the incident to my grandma over the phone. She reacted with panic, sharing her recent experience of being watched by a woman in a grocery store a few days earlier. Although my grandma, at 75, has lost some clarity, her intense reaction about the woman in the store left me uneasy. While I must consider her words with caution, the chilling nature of her call makes me ponder if it could be the same person. Hello, I'm Nicholas, currently a first-year student at Syracuse University, situated in an area that's not very safe. Recently, I experienced a breakup with my first girlfriend, prompting me to join the online dating scheme. While using Hinge, I came across a blonde girl named Stephanie with whom I connected. Stephanie also attends Syracuse and we share interests in reading and going to the movies, along with similar sense of humor. Suggesting a movie date, she agreed, specifying a meeting point near campus. Around 9 o'clock, I waited on the corner in a regular neighborhood block. Stephanie asked me to share my location and shortly after a car approached me. However, the driver wasn't Stephanie but an older random guy. He questioned why I was alone, which felt strange. I explained I was waiting for someone and he inquired if it was Stephanie. Confirming he claimed to be her father and offered a ride to meet her. Suspicious of his age, I firmly asked why he hadn't mentioned picking me up earlier. He said he didn't trust a random guy meeting his daughter and wanted to meet me first. Evaluating the situation, I chose to walk away in the opposite direction from his car. He began yelling, "Hey, hey," surprised that I walked away, but with numerous kidnapping stories in mind, I knew the potential danger. As I heard his car move, I checked to ensure he wasn't making a U-turn to follow me. Breathing a sigh of relief when he drove straight and turned left out of sight, I continued toward campus. Approaching a corner, I noticed what seemed to be the same car parked on the side with lights off. Though I tried peering into the tinted window, I couldn't see much. Trying not to appear suspicious, I got a text from the supposed Stephanie asking why I didn't get in the car with her dad. Ignoring it, I walked on, periodically checking if the car moved. Reaching an intersection, I turned right, then sprinted toward the campus. Surprisingly, I wasn't followed, and I made it back to my dorm out of breath. Feeling like I heard footsteps, I ducked behind a van, realizing I was being tailed. I stopped to listen, and a piece of broken glass kicked by someone confirmed it. A few cars away, I recalled not stopping location, sharing with Stephanie or the man. Recognizing him as the old man, I sprinted, easily losing him, and reached my dorm. Alone in my room, I received a shocking text from him, filled with threats. I replied, stating it would go to the police, blocking his number. I saved the conversation as evidence, planning to report it to the police, eventually hoping they can take actions. At 18, I worked part-time as a janitor at my high school during the summer. My shifts varied from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m., depending on my financial needs. Often, I was tasked with locked-up buildings after the old janitors had left. This was before cameras were installed throughout the school, creating a time when I was more vulnerable. One night, my superior, Tom, had to leave early, leaving me to finish my shift alone. He advised me to text him if I needed anything before departing. I enjoyed being alone, as I could slack off and still get paid for the whole shift. Tom had asked me to bring extra gymnasium seats to the basement storage room before leaving, so I decided to do that and then head home. In the dimly lit storage room, I discovered art mannequins covered by paint clothes. The basement resembled more of a warehouse than a school space, and it housed all the school's art supplies. While bringing down more chairs, I noticed one of the mannequins was exposed, the blanket removed. I was certain it was covered just minutes earlier, so I texted Tom, expressing my concern about someone being in the basement and the movement of the art cloth. He took a moment to reply, stating that no one else should be there. As I approached the corner where the art cloth was stuck, I noticed it covering something, and as I tiptoed closer, I realized it was moving ever so slightly. Someone was undoubtedly hiding beneath it. Startled, I rushed back upstairs, locked the basement door, and texted Tom, informing him of the situation. He advised me to call the police, but I urged him to return since he had only left 10 minutes ago. Reluctant, he told me to confront whoever was down there, but when I returned to the storage room, the cloth was flat on the floor and the person beneath it had vanished. The scariest part unfolded as loud metallic thumps echoed above my head. Looking up, I saw indents forming in the air vents and someone was crawling through. Suddenly, they stopped right above me, banging against the vents as if trying to break through. I didn't understand what was happening, but had enough. I sprinted up the stairs, locked up the school, and went home. The next day, I told Tom a partial truth, mentioning I thought I saw someone in the corner, but they were gone when I returned. I claimed there was nothing more to say, and since it was my last week there, it wasn't my concern anymore.